Starting the edition with some breaking news now coming in. It's day 3 of the Poonch operation and forces are going all out to wipe out coward Pakistani terrorists who have attacked an army vehicle during the anti-terror operations, claiming lives of at least 4 army jawans. In the latest update, Republic has also learned that 2 to 3 terrorists are still active in the area and have been encircled by their forces. Meanwhile, forces have also launched a mega cordon and search operation to flush out terrorists hiding in the forested areas. In fact, what we're going to do right now, give you full details of how exactly there were diversionary tactics that were employed by the Pakistanis. In fact, what you would see that there is a link that is emerging between the operations that were being carried out in Poonch with that of what has happened in Akhnoor. For more on this, I will also be joined in by our reporters on the ground, Arawat and Gursimran, who will be getting us the latest details in terms of the operations that have been carried out so far. On your screens, these are images of the hunt that has been carried out by the Indian Army. Just a quick recap of what we know so far. Remember, this operation actually started sometime on Wednesday late evening when the Indian Army actually received hard intelligence. Now, this was intelligence about the presence of terrorists in the Poonch sector. Just about a day later, around 3:46 in the evening is when the reinforcement was actually being sent to the area where the operation was being carried out. But that's where Indian Army was attacked. In fact, we've lost our jawans. They were killed in action. What you see on the right-hand side of your screen is that gypsy and the 1-ton vehicle that was actually used by the Indian Army for the additional reinforcement that was being used. In fact, these 2 vehicles came under immense fire from the terrorists. On the other hand is the latest images now coming in from the area with regards to the anti-terror ops that have been carried out. We're being told that the Poonch operation, in fact, has now been called off because the situation still remains quite fluid as well as volatile. But the presence of these terrorists, which the Indian Army essentially says that they are going to carry out the operation and ensure that they are flushed out as soon as possible. Let's have our reporters on the screens right now. Arawat and Gursimran both are joining us from the area where the operation has been carried out. First to you, Gursimran, what's the link between what happened in Akhnoor with that of what has transpired so far in Poonch?
Is evident that how Pakistani establishment is abetting the terrorists to push them into the Indian territory. Right now we are in the Akhnoor sector, the same place where the Pakistan's attempt was foiled, and now these troops of the Indian Army, those who have killed 2 Pakistani terrorists, are now carrying out intensified searches in the area. Shavan, as we move along with the Indian Army, you will understand that how densely forested area this is, and it is only 6 in the evening, but it is totally dark, and taking the advantage of this weather, that is the winter conditions, the Pakistani terrorists are trying to sneak into the Indian territory. Today morning, 4 terrorists attempted to sneak into the Indian territory, but that attempt was foiled by the Indian Army, and now intensified searches are on. 2 Pakistani terrorists have been killed, and Pakistani terrorists have been getting the active support of the ISI as well as 3 Punjab regiment that is deployed on the other side of the Chamb, that is just opposite to this area. This is the area of the international border that is manned by the Indian Army, and now the intensified operations are on, Shavan. These operations have started late last night when 2 Pakistani terrorists were neutralized. A group of total 4 terrorists in pair of 2, they attempted to sneak into the Indian territory, and as they move inside the deep forest, we move along with the Indian Army. This is one of the toughest areas, Shavan, when it comes to manning this area, because these grown trees and the forested areas, the sarkandas, they are acting as a supporter, the natural support for the Pakistani terrorists, and that's why it becomes really very challenging. See how difficult it is to pass through these dense forests, and Pakistani terrorists were using these forests to take the help of these natural caves and the dense forested area to sneak into the Indian side. But the Indian troops, they foiled the attempt of the Pakistan, and as we move, the area is getting tougher with each passing minute as you move ahead. But these troops of the Indian Army, this is the same unit that has carried out the operation. These are the same jawans that have killed the Pakistani terrorists, and now since there has been some movement on the other side. Some suspected movement has been detected. Now the troops, they have taken their positions here. Sarjeevan is showing you the regular visuals that how in the adverse of the conditions, Indian Army is not backing off and is carrying out the intensified operation. On the other side, Shravan, it is not more than the 100 meters that the Pakistani terrorist or the Pakistani side is, because from there an attempt was made today morning. It was early morning when the Pakistani side made this attempt. That stands foiled, and now the troops of the Indian Army, they are ensuring that each and every attempt of the Pakistani is foiled. Shravan, it has to be seen that how Pakistan is moving its focus from the line of control in Poonch to the area between the LOC and IB. This is in the Akhnoor sector. The 10 kilometer of the IB is manned by the Indian Army, and this is the same place where Pakistan attempted to drop a drone full of terror consignment some couple of weeks ago. It was a day after the Rajouri encounter in which 5 brave hearts, including 2 of the captains, attained martyrdom, and Pakistan attempted to drop a drone consignment full of IEDs, hand grenades, and also the pistols into the Indian territory. Now you will see that the entire area has been cordoned off by the Indian Army, and they are carrying out the searches of every nook and corner, because this area remains to be very critical and challenging for the Indian Army, because the regular attempt and the intensity of attempt that the Pakistani ISI and 3 Punjab regiment has done, the active support of 3 Punjab regiment is giving boost to the Pakistani terrorists, and that's why we have seen that how Pakistan and its proxies, they are making multiple attempts. Now they are entering another area, which is the forested area, and now the troops are moving to that side. So Shravan, tactically these operations are being conducted. These are the toughest operations to conduct, keeping in view that the Pakistani side is some couple of meters from this very place, and they also keep strict watch on what is happening, and they accordingly inform the Pakistani terrorists. You will see that these are the local units of the Indian Army that are well known to the area, and they are ensuring that the attempt of Pakistan to sneak in, taking the advantage of the dense foliage, that can be foiled. And if Sarjeevan can come to this side, and we can show that on the other side, if in case, I'm not very sure that we will be able to show, but that side is the Pakistani side, and from here the Pakistani watchtowers are clearly visible. So this close we are to the line of to the Pakistani side on the international border in the Akhnoor sector, and the troops of the Indian Army, they are making it very sure that Shravan, any attempt of the Pakistan is foiled, and foiled well within the time, because what we have seen that in these kind of areas there have been regular attempts of Pakistan. The Pakistani terrorists use these kind of sarkandas to felicitate the terrorists to those who are trying to sneak in. And as the operation continues, we have been advised to remain in close with the security forces, as the other side continues to mount challenges as they are supporting the terrorists, Shravan, to sneak in into the Indian territory. Yes.
Well, Gursum, just a quick question that I also wanted to take with you with regards to the current situation in Poonch. Has the operation come to a standstill, and what has happened to the status of those terrorists who had managed to cross over? And remember, they were the ones who had opened fire on the reinforcement that was on its way to the operational base. Take us through the latest details.
See, Shravan, if you speak of the operations that are underway in Rajouri, the search is continuing for those terrorists who are still hiding in the area of search operations have been intensified. But when it comes to especially the places where the terrorists could be hiding, the area has been extended, keeping in view the regular attempts of the Pakistani side to mount the pressure, because these terrorists are the ones who are trained in the jungle warfare, and they always attempt to target the security forces. Now, I must tell you that the operations that are on in that very area, those operations, they are tactically being taken, and time is being taken by the security forces, keeping in view the demography of the area, because that is really very important. There have been multiple terror attacks on the security forces. If we speak of this year only, there have been 4 major attacks in which we have lost 19 Jawans. So tactically, the security forces, based on some of the blood trails that they have found, some of the clothes they have found during the search operation, they are carrying out the operation in the Poonch as well. Shravan.